The shrine is considered the holiest and one of the few religious sites for the faith whose believers were persecuted by the ultra-extremist Islamic State group who consider the Yazidis non-believers. Set in a lush green valley and picturesque views surrounding it, the shrine is a place of safety and serenity for those who have lost much in recent months. Well, the United States began bombing ISIS targets in Syria using fighter bombers and Tomahawk missiles, according to the Pentagon late Monday night. Saudi Arabia and Jordan were among countries that took part in these bombings, according to the reports. The bombing came a day before President Barack Obama was scheduled to address the UN Security Council on foreign fighters working with the ISIS in Syria and Iraq. Also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is arriving here later in the week for UN General Assembly meetings in New York and talks with the President Barack Obama in DC. ISIS was to figure in the talks, but now with the US attacking the terrorist outfit which is holding Indian hostages in Mosul, Iraq, the strikes may have moved up their agenda. Obama administration officials told US media that Monday bombings were focused on targets, mostly buildings in Raqqa, a Syrian city now home to ISIS. Senior US officials have been saying for a while now that the only effective way of dealing with the ISIS, destroying it, in other words, was to attack in both Iraq and Syria. The strategy was to first chase them out of Iraq once a more inclusive government was in place in Baghdad, denying ISIS support from disgruntled Sunnis. News Desk, CVR English. Well, survivors of German victims of Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 downed over Ukraine plan to sue the country and its president for manslaughter by negligence in 298 cases. Professor of Aviation Law Elmar Gumala, who is representing 3 families of German victims, said that under international law, Ukraine should have closed its airspace if it could not guarantee the safety of flights. Ukraine and Western countries have accused the rebels of shooting the plane down with an advanced Russian-made missile. Russia has rejected accusations that it supplied the rebels with the Sa-11 Buk anti-aircraft missile system.
The weapons the rebels had, that they had rockets which were in a position to shoot down an aircraft. If a government has such an indication that these things happen in the own state territory, then the government has the obligation to react. So insofar, the government, the Ukrainian government, is to blame for not having closed the airspace. The only hope the relatives have is that the blood toll they had to pay is not in vain. Organized, and there are remedy measures against this happening again. This is what they want. Of course they claim for money, that's for sure, but money is just a leverage for achieving the goal, the final goal, that these things do not happen.
Well, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has announced U.S. plan to help fund new World Bank program to counter climate change. He made the announcement at the United Nations.
Put those secrets away. Long one here.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Well, Air France-KLM delayed the contested rollout of its low-cost operation, but unions representing striking French pilots were to stay on strike in defense of French pay and conditions. In France, unions representing striking French pilots rejected Air France-KLM